Algebra 2 Pre-Calc. We are doing 6.3 in Pre-Calculus. So what we're going to talk about now is vector operations. So we're going to say let vector u be some vector with component form u sub 1 comma u sub 2, right? And we're going to let vector v be some vector with component form v sub 1 comma v sub 2, right? So let's first talk about addition, right? So addition of vectors. So if I want to add these two vectors, right? If I want to add u plus v, all I do is perform that operation on their individual components. So I'm going to add the horizontal components, meaning u1 plus v1 will be my new horizontal component, and u2 plus v2, my vertical components, will be my new vertical components, right? So if I were to, so we'll give an example of that in a sec, but essentially it's very intuitive. You do exactly what you would expect that you do, right? So I'm going to tack one more thing up here. I'm going to let k be what we call a scalar. So scalar is the opposite of vector. It does not have a magnitude and direction. It just has a magnitude, right? So k is some scalar number, right? It's a number. So if we talk about scalar multiplication, meaning multiplying a vector by a number, so we talk about scalar multiplication, right? If I asked you to do k times vector v, I'm going to do exactly what you would intuitively normally think, which is I'm going to do k times the horizontal component and k times the vertical component, and those are my two new components. So again, when I multiply a vector by a number, I essentially just multiply each component by the number. So let's do an example of that over here just to show you what that would look like. So if I wanted to, for example, so we'll go ahead and call this example 3, right? Let's say that I had vector u equals 3 comma 1, and I have vector v equals negative 2 comma 5, right? If I asked you to do u plus v, the component form would just be the sum of the x or horizontal coordinates, whichever way you want to think about it, right? So 3 plus this negative 2 would be my new x coordinate, and my new y coordinate, or my new vertical component, would be the 1 plus the 5. So my u plus v would end up being a 1 comma 6, right? If I asked you to do 5v, well, that would just be a 5 times the negative 2 in the x direction, right? And a 5 times the 5 in the y direction. So 5v would end up looking like a negative 10 comma 25, right? So that's an example of both addition and scalar multiplication. We'll do a little bit of subtraction and some other stuff in a sec.